alles Power, ne? Alles wie immer, richtig fest.
Just put inside
explodieren. Ja, genau. Schön, Hassan, schön. Jetzt stell ihn in der Ecke. Schön, weiter, Hassan, weiter. Weiter, Hassan. Mach Druck, geh näher dran und dann explodieren. Näher dran und dann explodieren. Näher dran und dann explodieren. Schön, genau so, Hassan. Hassan, gib Gas. Gib Gas. Geh näher dran. Näher dran, Hassan. Nach vorne gehen. Geh gut. Und dranbleiben. Explodieren, explodieren. Und dran, und Kombos, genau. Genau so, Hassan, schön. Und dran, nach vorne, und weiter, weiter. Dranbleiben, der hat Schiss, der ist K.O. Der ist fertig. Schön. Und dranbleiben, Hassan, dranbleiben. Dranbleiben, schön. Genau so. Dranbleiben. Der ist fertig. Und dran. Körper, Kopf, weiter, weiter. Atmen, Hassan, atmen. Atmen. Atmen, Hassan. Atmen, durchatmen. Gib Gas, gib Gas. Deckung, Deckung. Deckung, Hassan, Deckung und rein. Atmen, Hassan, du hast ihn, der hat Schiss. Deckung, Hassan, Deckung. Deckung und rein. Nah dran gehen und dann auf den Körper. Rein da, rein, weiter, genau, weiter, weiter, weiter. Ja, weiter, weiter. Genau so, weiter, weiter. Super, genau so, der hat Angst vor dir, der ist K.O.
I didn't see the boxing.
Well, the boxing, I didn't get the rules. I was doing big punches and then Peter told me, no, do that, not big punches. And so I lost my whole match. I was a little bit down on the court. Honest to God, like my heart rate was up and I thought that it was the stress of boxing. I didn't take more. I just thought I didn't take my level. I was rough, like I didn't see the core. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Literally, I thought the form was, even he played the nice diagonal, I could tell it's not as an illegal move. But no, it makes no reason.
cool format. I think it's good for first timers getting into it, you know?
The guy didn't have running 3 in the group, so plus extra nationality. I'll be happy to help out. But I am competitive.
Of course.
And I don't like to lose.
Of course.
Why aren't you on the stream?
Posting the link to get more viewers. I just recorded a video, so I'm editing it.
I think that was my question.
Your move. Your move.
Der hat Schiss, der lag auf dem Boden. Der Gott auf dem Boden. Gib Gas, Hassan. Hassan, Knockout. Knockout. Ja, Knockout. Knockout. Genau so, Hassan. Genau so. Der ist müde. Hassan, knock ihn aus. Knock ihn, ja. Genau. Genau so. Hassan. Genau so. Das ist gleich vorbei. Knock ihn aus. Knock, der will nicht mehr. Der hat keine Lust mehr. Knock ihn aus. Der will nach Hause. Knock ihn aus. Knock ihn aus! Knock ihn aus! Knockout! Knock ihn aus! Knockout! Der will nicht mehr. Knock ihn aus, Hassan. Knockout! Ah! Ja, ja, ja. Gut, Hassan. Knock ihn aus! 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 Genau! Nach vorne! Knock ihn aus! Er ist bei uns! Mach ihn hier weg! Er ist bei uns und hau ihn weg! Hau ihn hier weg! Körperkopf! 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 Knock ihn aus, Hassan! Der kann nicht mehr, der schläft! Knock ihn aus! Der will schlafen! Knock ihn! This is one. Ja. Knock ihn aus, Hassan! Sofort! Knock aus! Körperkopf! 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 Knock aus! Knock ihn aus! Knock ihn aus! Körperkopf! 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 Knock ihn aus, Hassan! 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 Knock ihn aus, Hassan! Ja, head down! Where's his head? His head. Knock ihn aus, Hassan! Knock ihn aus! Knock ihn. Körperkopf! 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 Was ist das? Was ist das? Was? Knock ihn aus, gib Gas! Knock out, Hassan! Ja! Hassan! Knock ihn aus! Knock ihn aus! Knock ihn aus, Hassan! Hassan! Knock ihn aus, Hassan! Knock ihn aus! Raus aus dem Ring! Knock ihn aus! Atmen und knock ihn aus! Atmen und knock ihn aus! Geh rein! Geh rein da! Hassan, rein da! Ja! Knock out! Knock ihn aus! Körperkopf! Knock ihn aus! Hassan! Knock ihn aus! Ja! Was ist das? Hassan, komm her! Komm her! Du kannst dein Tour mit deinen Leuten schlagen. Sein Tour mit deinen Leuten schlagen. Schnell ziehen. Du musst sehr schnell ziehen. Und der erste Zug ist in die Mitte rein. Durch die Mitte, zurück. Hassan, bleib hier. Du schlägst deinen Leuten mit deinen Leuten seinen Turm. Sehr schnell ziehen.
And we're live. We're back. Coming back after a very, very exciting boxing round. Hassan, the aggressor, putting the pressure on the Russian, who shows fatigue and damage all over his face right now. Slow to put on his headphones, trying to use every second to recover in between these rounds, because it is difficult playing chess after a boxing round, especially one like that.
That's right, especially against Hassan, who just throws a fury of strong punches and is quite nimble with his head.
So Artur does have the advantage on the board right now. Let's see if he's able to finish this match. He has over a minute on the timer. He has more material, better king safety. So here we go. We're underway. Advancing the F-pawn down, getting a check with tempo.
And now equal in material. Maybe black is up a pawn, but this seems quite like a fair fight after a chess boxing match like this one.
Yeah, so black going to go up another pawn, maybe two here.
Wait, illegal move.
Why?
Black was in check while the rook moved. This seems to have been adjusted. Oh, we're pretty close. The Russian fighter seems to be forgetting to hit his clock.
That'll happen when you're getting hit in the head by someone like Hassan. Winning a pawn. And about to queen. I mean, this is a tough position to be in for the Russian. Wow, excellent move by Hassan. Not settling for the bishop, but wanting the bishop off the board so he can get a full queen. He's using too much time here, though. I think he should just promote, take the bishop, and continue with a piece advantage.
Well, he would trade that bishop for a queen. That wouldn't be a bad decision.
So, yeah, now we move to the 7th rank. When you promote with check. He's able to protect. He needs to push that back off the 8th rank. Very low time. Very tense situation going for this promotion. This is going to come down to a time battle. He gave up the pawn.
Ooh.
Difficult to keep up with the DGT, but watching the hands on the board, you can see a version of what's going on. Illegal move for black. Time being adjusted. And there we have it, Hassan with the victory. Hassan getting the edge in the boxing round, was able to get time advantage back in his favor. All right, and the German taking it home. What an incredible comeback. Absolutely insane.
That was absolutely crazy. I think that the whole crowd just exploded in a burst of what would you call that? It was pure joy. But
pure joy, celebration, passion. There are few in our community like Hassan, who is advancing from the semifinals to the finals after that incredible comeback victory.
But winning on chess, I'm not sure Hassan has done it before. I think that might set a precedent. Obviously, when he's a force to reckon with in the boxing, but on the chessboard, he's always trying to kind of survive. This time, he was in the driver's seat for a while.
That's right, yeah, and even on the board coming back to the ring, he was in a losing, not a losing position, but he was down on material, and he was able to claw his way back by advancing his pawn, getting his opponent in time trouble, and ultimately winning on time after a brutal boxing round. I'm so surprised the Russian was able to survive the boxing round, and not surprised that it ended up affecting his chess.
Okay, so this fight is not actually a fight. This is just Daniel that's getting through to the next round because Gabriel had to pull out due to an injury. So he's just it's just a technicality. He's going to enter the ring, raise his arm, and Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt.
Daniil, the chess boxing legend from Russia, two-time world champion, advances to the finals, which we will see later tonight, where he goes up against a Frenchman that you know very well, Jules, in the finals.
Indeed, I'm really looking forward to that, and it's a rematch from their 2019 Antalya fight, where Jules won. Daniil badly blundered a checkmate in one in I believe the third round of chess. So I think they might have only had one round of boxing then, and I'm pretty much sure that Daniel's strategy is going to make it a brawl, because he knows that if he stays in his strategic kind of boxing, he's extremely good technical boxer, but he knows that if he does that, Jules has the capacity to clinch, to move, head movement, just stall the fight. And so he knows it has to be a brawl, and I think he's going to bring it to him.
That's absolutely right. And even before we get to those main events, those finals later, we have an excellent matchup coming up now for the under 60 kilogram category for our female division. This is a main event final from a former world champion, Lara Armas, who is from France and faced up against another Russian. Big rivalry here, France versus Russia, where Katerina, we'll go Kat for short, is challenging her title.
I know that in the backstage you have the whole French team very much counting on this match, Lara being one of the a central figure in the French Chessboxing Federation.
That's right. She's been involved for a long time. She's done a great job of helping to build the program in France and still stays a competitor, which we love to see. Here we have a strong opening from both players. The E4 pawn does fall.
And it is a pawn. It's a good pawn.
It's a clean pawn. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So White will get probably a tiny little bit of compensation, which is normal. That happens when you do win a pawn. You're going to take time to take that pawn. So, for example, that piece that was exchanged took 3 tempos out. So White's slightly better developed, but a pawn is a pawn. And when things will balance themselves out, we're happy to have digested it.
Mm-hmm.
Lara has a bit of a funny story because her sister and I think all of her family had titles in chess, French junior champion, things like that. And Lara was a bit of the ugly duckling, so to speak, in that respect. And so she said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to become a world champion. And she did.
And that's exactly what she did, and did it in badass fashion, having boxing involved with the chess. But back to this game, really strong play from both players so far.
Definitely, but that pawn loss in the center now, it's been totally digested, and we see this big, strong center being created for black. I'm not exactly sure how you're going to deal with that, but there's also the bishop pair.
Now putting the rook in jail. Where's that rook going to go?
It doesn't. These are temporary factors. You're going to kick that knight back out. You're going to move the bishop, and the rook can go wherever it wants. We don't even have an open file yet, so it doesn't really matter where it goes. Probably the c file might open at some point, but it remains to be, it's open for discussion.
So we'll see where this knight is going to go. Is it coming back to c3?
That wasn't much of a choice, and now probably she will want at some point to open a file, because okay, if you take the pawn on d4 and then you got 2 central pawns against none, so that should have some kind of effect. If you manage to push them forward, I don't like that move. The c2 pawn, the c3, the whole c file seems slightly weakened because of that advance. The only bright side is that, for example, you're fixing the queenside pawns, so if at some point you want to play a4, but here I don't think that really trumps the downsides.
Yeah, that c-file ripe for the taking, but the rook delayed in getting there, having to move the bishop out of the way in order to be able to swing that rook in.
Indeed, she could have immediately started with the other rook. The thing is, the c2 pawn was protected, so it wasn't a big deal. I think Lara at this point is just wanting to play normal moves, not make any, not make her position, compromise her position in any way before the round of boxing, and then take it from there.
That's right. Very solid chess from both fighters. Not a clear advantage either way. And both competitors making their way to the ring with very determined, very serious face looks on their faces. So we are back to regular chessboxing rules, meaning we start on the chessboard, and when we get to the boxing ring, it is no longer 90 seconds. It is 3 minutes. There is no helmet. There are 12-ounce gloves, and these two fighters are going to be going at it, just like we saw in the last match with Hassan emerging victorious, advancing to the finals. We are in for a treat between these two competitors. Again, we have Ekaterina from Russia in the red or white corner, and then we have Lara from France, also in the black, aka blue corner.
She's from France, but she speaks English, French, German, Russian, and Indian, apparently.
Yes, her husband from India, and being quadlingual prior to that. Yeah. All right, gloves have been touched. Valfongo is overseeing this World Championship final match. Valfongo, the fighter from, I'm sorry, not the fighter, the organizer for this year's World Championship from Italy. Very good boxing so far from the Russian.
Lara not finding her stability. She's trying to move way too much.
Seemed pretty frantic and catches a clean counter. Russian fighter advancing with her hands down. This is so far not a very technical opening to this round.
The thing with Lara, I think she does chess box. Well, she boxes once a year in this event. So she doesn't get much experience. I think she just does it for the challenge each year, new challenge. And this time she has a new opponent.
Very stiff jab from the Russian competitor. She's doing a good job of not just dictating her distance, but also dictating her power. I mean, she is landing heavy shots early in this chess boxing match.
Oh, she's obviously been skilled very well. Lara got a nice right hook in there as a counter. Oh.
Shot to the back of the head is actually a warning from Valfongo to Laura for not turning her back to her opponent. That's why the shot to the back of the head happened. A stiff jab knocks the head back for Lara. Valfongo stepping in to give a standing 8 count. A brief rest. That is one knockdown for the Russian. If she scores 2 knockdowns in a round or 3 in a match, the fight is over. Another
There's
great
something
jab.
wrong with her guard. She needs to be much tighter on her guard. It's always getting through.
She's fighting off of her back foot. She's retreating without giving her opponent something to have to deal with. There isn't a jab while she retreats. She isn't circling or moving laterally. There she has a little lateral movement. That's good. She needs more of that. But now she finds herself up against the ropes, holding on to one hand, but the other hand pounding away. The Russian absolutely dominating this boxing round now.
I think Valfongo's reluctant to stop because they know that Lara wants to win. But at the same time, I'm thinking that it's very close to another stoppage here.
I think we are low on time in this boxing round. If she stays alive, she will be able to.
That's maybe slightly illegal. She was holding her. Oh, there is.
This will be it.
Yeah. Well, she'll be disappointed, obviously, but I think probably justified. Oh no, there's
Valfongo.
I believe that was. I thought it was 2. I thought that was his own rules.
Maybe for the finals, it's different.
Maybe. Oh, because yes, longer.
3 instead of 2.
Okay. That's fine. My mistake.
That makes sense. I thought the same as you.
Yeah.
Because in every fight leading up to the finals, it is 2 stoppages in a round or 3 in a fight. Now, because it is the finals, it is 3 stoppages in a round or 4 in a fight. Our normal rule set.
Because there are more rounds to go.
Well, more rounds, but also there are no fights after this. The reason why we reduce it from 3 to 2 in a round is because they have multiple fights to go after, because we're in World Championship tournament format. So they want to preserve the fighter. This is the last fight of the tournment for both of these fighters, so they can go for the regular rule set of 3.
Okay, I was under the impression that it was actually something else. It was just because otherwise the boxers are too much of a disadvantage because he might only get 1 round of boxing.
No, because in other World Championships it's been this same format but with 3 and 4, and we've had a lot of injuries, so they've opted for this approach to try to have as many as healthy fighters as we can making it to the finals.
So she definitely still has a better position, and
Laura doing a great job of taking her time, getting back to the chessboard, breathing, recovering before continuing her chess match. She being cheered on by her French team. It is hype in here with all the Russians in the red corner, all the French in the blue corner. Very exciting environment to be in if you're a chess boxing fan or from either of these countries.
It absolutely is.
So assessing this position as we start back on this round, would you give a slight edge on either side, or would you say it's relatively equal?
No. The black most definitely does have the advantage here. The C file is open. The there are things hanging. It's much easier to find targets. Whereas both rooks are lined up there on that e6 pawn, which is rock solid. They're never going to sacrifice. There's no mates. The queens are off the board, so that isn't really an option. Here, it's mostly about not giving anything away, not giving any kind of counterplay. Probably just doubling rooks on the c file, waiting for white to turn up with something.
Yeah, this pressure coming from the queen side for black is impressive. The bishop pair both staring down at the king side, and those rooks, to your point, about to be doubled on the c-file where that pawn is weakened by the advanced b pawn.
There you go. I think you could they're just moves to play, and they're moves that you can play quickly because they're just logical places to go. So once you've done that, you can have another logical thing to play knight to b6 to c4 to that square that's protected by the two pawns, and you would be attacking the source of the pawn chain from there.
A very high outpost, very hard to break up without having to trade away one of your knights, and that's what would have to happen. So we'll see if she opts for that configuration of the knight, or if she tries to mount an attack on that c3 pawn.
I think she can just go from one to the other and keep on putting pressure and just playing fast, because what she wants to do basically is win on time. That's all you want from your superior position. That's the for me, it's always been the key to my success, at least.
And a lot of success you've had in this chess boxing world. So we do have a distinct time advantage. I'm just now recognizing Lara up almost 4 minutes on the clock. That's going to come into play.
Is she capable of winning on time in this round, or how much time is left on the clock?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think we will see another boxing round unless checkmate is delivered. So she will have to navigate another boxing round against a stronger boxer.
Definitely. And so she's had 2 counts. Is she allowed another 2 counts now in the next round?
Correct. There needs to be 2 stoppages for the Russian fighter in the next round in order for it to be considered a TKO.
Okay. Well, generally, you know, after a bad first round, you can have those bad first rounds. The second one, you're a little, you know, actually the nerves are stabilized. You've digested something or other, and your corner tells you to stay calm. You know, they're going to give you 1 or 2, you know, hints like, you know, get your guard a little bit tighter, do something. They've seen something and they're going to tell you. So maybe for the first 30 seconds to a minute, you're actually going to get away with something.
Very true, and there's the 10-second warning with less than a minute left for Katerina. So Katerina is essentially looking down the barrel of if she does not score a TKO in this next boxing round, she loses. There's no way she's going to be able to go up against the 5 minutes and 14 seconds of Lara. Lara's put herself in an excellent position to be able to win this on chess in the next round, but what she needs to do is engage her defense, be really, really good at moving around the ring, staying away from the dangerous weapons that our Russian boxer has, and survive this. And if she survives, she wins. If she succumbs to two stoppages, either knockdowns or Volfongo, the referee, stepping in, then she loses the match.
But this is very much the old style that we had in the early days. It was very difficult to find fighters, and so you would have one guy keen to do it, he was a boxer, another guy keen to do it, he was a chess player. And from the very start, we knew what was going on. You know, it was one guy was the hero. You know, like, you know, going out with the courageous, you know, on his white horse, so to speak, but without much
cat and mouse.
Yeah, exactly.
but roles reversed when you go from one battlefield to the other.
Well, it's always somebody has to be out of their comfort zone. If somebody's in their comfort zone in both, somehow you're missing out on the experience.
That's right, and what a match this has been. Just absolute beautiful boxing and athleticism displayed by Russia, which we're about to see again. And let's see if Lara finds another gear here. Able to defend herself, stay away, jab, give Katerina something to have to think about. The first punch actually landed by Lara here. Great. A good roll and clinch.
There you go.
This is what she needs to be doing.
That's
Miss a punch
corner.
And hold onto an arm. Miss a punch and grab onto the neck. You just need to keep clinching, not let those big, powerful shots land, and need to fight back too. Wow, a very early stoppage. Not what you want to see if you're a French fan right now. That was a very, very big fight. Volfongo looking into the eyes of Lara, making sure she's okay to continue, and she is. one more knockdown in this fight, one more knockdown or stoppage, and Russia will advance and win the World Championship. But Laura's not giving up that easy. She is holding on to one hand, the other hand clinched. And there we have it. That is 4 stoppages in the fight, and that will be it for Laura, the defending world champion. It is over. We have a new world champion hailing from Russia. Katarina wins the under 60 kilogram division for the female chess boxing division. Congratulations to Russia and to Katarina on a fight well fought. Time ending up not being an issue in that one. She ended it in the boxing ring before they could get back to chess.
Well, it was heads or tails, really, wasn't it? It was if you make it, or either you make it or you don't. You know, it could go either way. Well, the smiles come back, and
nothing but smiles. Good sportsmanship from these rival teams.
A new friend.
And yes, that's right. You learn from it. You move on. But a big congratulations to both fighters for making it to the finals, and to Katarina for taking it home to Russia.
It means so much to the Russians, because they put so much effort in the structure that they're bringing to their internal chess boxing development.
Absolutely. As we heard earlier from Peter Zhukov, the president of the Russian Chess Boxing Federation, there are over 40 clubs established all over Russia. And not just clubs like, a boxing club practices once a week or something like that. These are clubs supported by municipals, supported by universities, and they have a chess boxing only school set up, the first one, and it's incredible what they've been able to do to not only advance chess boxing in Russia but also the world. So a lot of gratitude to Peter and to the Russian Chess Boxing Federation for everything in the being done in the chess boxing world.
Most definitely, and bringing the world together again. Mm-hmm. In
Absolutely.
That sense, chess boxing bringing the world together.
Sport is a way to bring otherwise competitive nations together in collaboration and community. And it's one of my favorite things about the World Championship is all the time we get to spend together in between rounds and having a few beers or going on walks, and it's really nice. But next up, we do have another chess boxing final coming at you. Beautiful. Russia bringing it home. So, Peter, we were just singing his praises and he appears. But in this next one, we are moving on to another championship final in a 95 kilogram plus veteran matchup. These are the big boys. This is the heavyweight matchup. And in this one, we have Latvia versus Kazakhstan. And as you can see, we're about to see some big, strong punches. But before we do, we start on the chess round for all regular chess boxing matches, the regular rule set. So here we go. About to begin. The veteran category is people over the age of 40. So both of these men over 40 and over 95 kilograms, which for our American viewers, that is 208 pounds. So essentially a heavyweight. And
the Latvian, I just was my opponent in the first round of Chess Boxing Fit. So we were hitting the bag together not more than half an hour ago.
Nice. How was his chess?
Decent, very decent. I had to be careful. I think it was mostly time pressure that made him, psychologically crack at the end.
Yep.
But other than that, technically, a bit hesitant. Not so handy with the clock. Probably plays a lot on the internet, So
we have an E4 opening, maybe a French defense coming from the Kazakhstani.
Oh, I don't like that.
Uh-oh.
I do not like that. That's not a move that I would practice. So generally, yeah, when you're going to have a French defense, you're not going to operate in the same manner as if the king's pawn had moved two squares forward, because when that bishop comes out, you're no longer hitting on that weak, vulnerable spot F7, right? That's protected by the king. I know this is a little bit technical, but basically you're hitting against a brick wall there. So this bishop on b3, it seems like it's developed. You could argue now that it is pressuring d5, but you could also argue the opposite, that it's actually kind of trapped.
And if that B pawn advances, it's one move away from being trapped. Now the pawn is on D3, not so much, but not a great square for the bishop now, but may come into play later.
Indeed. And once again, everything in chess has kind of some reversibility to it. So, what can be your fault at some point can actually turn into a good quality later on in the game. It happens with space. You can take a lot of space and then you can just be overextended at some point. The more pieces you're going to exchange, for example, the more space is actually going to become a burden. But this is technical. This is actually, it happens in war. You never advance too far because your ammunition. You have to go back and forth. So
Overextension, and there we have it. That bishop does end up getting trapped. The writing was on the wall.
But so knight c6. Now, if the rook was on e1, if he'd have done that, he would have got his bishop back.
So here we do with an early advantage for black, and now white throwing pieces, trying to stall the inevitability of losing that bishop.
I think I would have sacked the knight for the 2 pawns while that queen was lined up with it, and maybe threatened some kind of discovered attack or something later on. Mm-hmm. Queen f5, okay, that's just basically he's not pressed for time. He does not need to take that bishop. He can, but probably he does because he doesn't want the sack to happen. So I think that he will at some point. He should at least take on a4.
He is enjoying about a 30-second time advantage right now.
Mm-hmm. But I think that in all cases,
not opting to take it yet, retrieving the bishop. Back to the 8th ring.
But the Kazakh for the moment has shown very solid chess. He hasn't been making any mistakes. I think that we can't really expect him to. I think he's going to do the job if the way things continue.
Yeah, and Sergey finishing the round, advancing into opponent's territory with 2 minor pieces. We'll see how that plays out when we get back to the chess. But before we do, we get to see these two 95-kilogram plus fighters exchange punches. I can't wait to see the boxing on both of these, the Kazakh and the Russian.
They look like hard
men.
The
Latvian.
Ooh, yeah, don't get that wrong.
Nope.
But they seem very friendly towards each other.
They are. Very similar cultures, similar part of the world. May one day be the same country. Who knows?
Just playing kidding. With fire.
Just kidding. I hope. So it looks like this isn't light, is it?
No.
No. I see the Latvian with a helmet.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah.
Maybe because it's veteran?
Is that? I don't know if that's the case.
Okay, so they both agreed to wear headgear. So if they want the extra protection, they can have it, especially as veterans over 40. So headgear is coming on.
Can you actually choose to not have it, or do you have to have it? Because some people don't like headgear.
Based off of what the ring announcer said, it sounds like they both opted to vote to wear it.
Okay, and so if 2 fighters would opt to not wear it, they both preferred?
I think that the default is they don't wear it. So if one wants to wear it, the other doesn't want to wear it. I think it defaults to not wearing it.
Okay.
But if they both agree to wear it, then they're on an equal playing field.
Let me give you a hypothetical. Let's say you were in a Chessboxing light match, right? I don't know when that would happen, but imagine it did. Would you opt for the headgear or not?
I'd prefer not.
Yeah, I think that's actually quite sensible, personally. But that would only be a preferential thing, you know.
Yeah, purely hypothetical.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
All right, we are taking a little extra time in between rounds to get the gear straight because they are opting to wear these helmets. But I don't think that will change anything about the power of these punches. It still hurts. You still get the head whiplash and everything that comes with power punches to the head. What it saves is cuts to the eye, the very thin skin around the eye, and it saves potential breakages in the nose and the jaw. But there's the first bell. We are underway. We do have 2 regular fighters, meaning left foot, left hand forward, and right now just feeling each other out, throwing a jab out, getting a sense for distance, seeing what kind of style the opponent has. Big right hook lands to the guard, but pushes Sergey into the ropes, being broken up by the fighter, and the Cossack literally hopping right back into action.
I like the extra momentum. Oh, but actually, it's a bit of a gazelle punch. I'm quite surprised.
Yeah, and just like a lot of vigorous, passionate kind of attacking so far. Is it over? I've seen things like that happen. It does from time to time. Maybe sometimes people want to get in the ring just for a try, and then they say like, okay, if you see that I'm not doing well, I'll just throw in the towel. So he did not want any more of the Kazakh smoke, and he calls it. So no more, no mas from Sergey. Big hug from the Kazakh, who will be winning this 95-plus veteran main event chess boxing final, and thus winning a world championship for Kazakhstan. Congratulations to the fighter, Sayan, and to Kazakhstan, his home country. Waiting for his flag to enter the ring.
Have you seen the young Kazakh? There's a young Kazakh who's here who passed him the flag. He is absolutely fabulous. He is like Olympic level boxing with 2,000 chess. And he's like 16, 17 years old. he's crazy.
Is that young?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something to look for in the future of chess boxing. Seems like more and more fighters are coming into our community with that kind of build, just an insane amount of martial art experience and very high elo. It's very exciting about the future of chess boxing.
Well, what you have to consider is that, okay, maybe on a direct propaganda, let's get people into the community, we can't really tell what we're doing on that, superstructure cultural level, like just people hearing about it, and on a subconscious level, people picking it up and saying the word, and then somebody, some kid or some parent putting them into these classes, and then, a couple of years later, wow, we have a new talent. Without constructing the school itself, and things do happen on their own sometimes.
That's right, and very excited for this next matchup. Selfishly, because it's my weight division. It's 90 kilograms, and we have seen some excellent things out of both of these fighters. First out is in the white corner from Russia, Mikhail Grigorev. He is making his way to the ring right now, and his opponent, who is undefeated so far and has done so with a very stoic, calm demeanor.
He's
the man from Kyrgyzstan, who I will not try to attempt his last name, but Akhnazar is already shadow boxing and warming up, ready for his name to be called after the Russian takes the stage.
And I love the way he does his shadow boxing in his warm up. It's very minimalistic. It's a little bit of the warming of the hands, maybe a little bit of a jog on the spot, but he's not breaking a sweat yet.
And there's Akhnazar making his way to the stage, the man who we're just talking about, cool, calm, collected, ready to take on another from the powerhouse Russian side. And here we go, adjusting the pieces, getting set. Our arbiter ready to oversee the match.
I believe Grigorev, we saw him earlier in Chessboxing light bout, or does he have a twin brother?
We had we had Mikhail taking on Julio from Italy, and he is back already for his championships final. All right.
All
Interesting opening, c4.
It is kind of, yeah, it's because now he's going to play e4. It looks like an e4, e5, you know, a normal open game. But with the pawn on c4, it creates this kind of clamp on the center, on that d5 square. And so we're going to be able to create some form of space advantage that we're going to be able to keep on to.
And trading off the good bishop for black.
Trading off the good...
The good bishop, just because the pawns are on the light squares. He had a lot of squares that he can move and control, but the white dark square bishop gets trades off for the good bishop for black.
This you see it quite often in the Italian. Here, I'm not sure I would have recommended it, but at the same time, white now has a big pawn mass in the center. And I would play a move just like Queen F3 and Castle Long, maybe, just to put some, you know, just to play some moves fast and to scare my opponent into a position that he's never seen before and he has to think about.
Sure, yeah. So advancing the queen to the second rank is a good way to defend. Maybe a little counterattack potential by moving it to the F file. So F3 played, defending the pawn, but also eyeing down that weak F7 square that we've talked about a lot so far in this World Championship tournament. A few fighters are losing from checkmate on that square in earlier rounds.
Obviously the D5 square calling out for the knight to trample on it. He's trying to find a cool verb.
Trample was a good one. Horses do that.
They do.
Yeah, D5 looks like a great move for the white knight to swing into, reinforcing that E3 pawn. And we'll see what kind of protection for the king both players have cooked up here. The white still needs to develop a lot if he comes over to the king side. Probably not a great idea given the pawn structure. But if he makes his way over to the queen side, it's already clear he could do it this move if he wanted to.
I think he should, just on principle. I mean, sometimes it's not the best move, but it's kind of calling out, and you have to respond to that. Now,
the D3 pawn is also still currently undefended. It's a good target or weakness for black to start to mount an attack against.
There is only one piece that can really attack that. It's the knight on c6, and it's kind of easily defendable. So I'm not sure I would call it a weakness. Nevertheless, it's true that by castling long, you do solve that problem.
Yeah, not yet, but there's the bell. Wow, that came up quick. I didn't hear the 10-second warning, but the bell has been rung. Not a clear advantage.
No, I thought actually because last time we saw Agnazar, he was doing pretty well in the chess. He was very natural, as Mikhail, for the moment, has been showing a few problems in chess. So I thought that it would have been pretty much one-sided, but this is not the case. I actually prefer white.
Little behind on development from my assessment. I'd like to see some more minor pieces develops, move some pieces back, or move a few pieces a couple times. Brought the queen out early. Like you said, I think his chess in former rounds was a little stronger than what we saw in this first one, but that was only the first round. We'll see how this boxing round goes before we get back to the chess. And this one, the fighter's opting not to have any headgear, and that is much to our delight and entertainment. Yes, I think both of these fighters are good boxers, and we're about to see a clash of 90-kilogram titans.
But it is 12-ounce gloves. Is this?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Oh, so this is the real deal.
Correct. Yep, 90-kilogram main event regulations, meaning we start on the chessboard and we alternate rounds between chess and boxing until checkmate or knockout. Time can also run out, and stoppages and illegal moves count as 1 out of 3 in a round or 4 in a fight to disqualify or TKO the opponent.
So this is not only the main event, this is the final of the main event.
This is the finals for 90 kilograms. We will have a new 90-kilogram world champion.
That was a funny start, wasn't it? They were very, very calm, and then all of a sudden something broke.
And this is his style. Remember, he looks very fluid, very easygoing, and then he'll miss one and sting. You know, that old axiom, that quote from Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Watch this Kyrgyzstani, and you'll see echoes of Ali. Hands down, baiting that headshot.
Ali was floating a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, just wait till the movement comes out. Yeah, different body types, maybe different movement styles. But
there you go. There he goes floating. There he's going floating. But it is very much a chess game.
Still feeling him out. I'm surprised by the Russian not taking a little bit more initiative here. So far, the Kyrgyzstani is winning this boxing round. Initiated more shots, taking shots than tying up, showing his experience. I love how chill he is. And big muscles on the Russian can often signal like, oh, good athlete, or oh, going to beat him up. But to Carl's point in an earlier fight, those can wear you out. Muscles can take a lot of energy out of the body.
Highly overrated.
And so maybe it's a good thing that the Russian is pacing. He does a DDT, taking down the Kyrgyzstani, which is not a boxing move.
It definitely isn't. Just in case you're new to boxing, that is not allowed.
Chess WWE coming to you soon
I wouldn't be surprised.
In a stadium near you.
We'll get Jake Paul to do a match.
Oh, Logan is the WWE guy.
Oh, Logan, I'm sorry.
Jake's the boxer,
boxer.
But both would be
they
very
welcome.
Each other. They would be very welcome in the chess boxing community. Jake, Logan, if you want to come try out something, challenge not just your body but your mind.
Do you know who I would
love to have you.
Of all the influences?
Who?
Andrew Tate.
Yeah, he knows chess well.
He knows chess.
Yep.
I knew his father's name before I knew his.
Yeah. Yep. Emery Tate. A chess coach and pretty well known in the chess world and teaching his kids chess.
So, Andrew, if you're listening.
Yeah. If he can ever leave Romania
If he
again.
can leave Romania. But I will come to a Romanian prison.
And have a chess boxing match.
That would be cool.
That would be fun. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The first boxing round is in the books. Unlike Chess Boxing Light, we do not announce the winner of the round after rounds. I would give a slight edge to the Kyrgyzstani, more in control, showing his ability to miss punches and then explode back and counter. So a little bit more maybe experience, composure, patience, and technical ability to the Kyrgyzstani.
But nobody giving real difficulty to either one. I'm not even sure that the chess is going to be all that much, bothered by it.
And with an equal match like this, it is a marathon, not a sprint. So with these fighters pacing themselves in the first boxing round, I actually really like that. I think it's smart by both to let the chess game develop a little bit more before getting that kind of desperate urgency that comes from dumping all your energy in a boxing round, because it also affects the chess.
And we don't see that very often. We do often see somebody going for it, as if they had something to prove. And it is refreshing to have a bit of a slower pace, a slower start to it. Okay.
That's right. And you gave me an idea, Carl. I'm going to tweet at Andrew Tate and see if he'll tune into the World Championship right now.
Oh, dude. Do that.
So talk about the chess for a little bit while my Twitter fingers go crazy.
Okay. But I don't want to get him too scared about my chess level. You might say no. Okay, so that knight b4 that Matt was mentioning earlier has been played, and so the d3... And Castle Long has been played too, so we're predicting pretty well what's going on. b5, that's a smart move. That's actually to open up the queen side, even if it's going to cost a pawn, because actually it's not even going to cost a pawn. You'd have to calculate. Things are getting a little bit messy here. Will he play a3 first? Because if he just takes, right, then a2 is hanging. So he's definitely going to get it back, and the white king is going to be a little bit in a war zone there. So my recommendation would be to kick the knight back. That's what he's done. And take it from there. I think that the black's next move is kind of obvious. It would be to kick back. And still, again, if you take it, you're opening the B file. I think it's a very good way of dealing with the position, is not touching the side of your opponent's attack. It's doing it on the side of your own. So he didn't touch anything. He doesn't have to touch anything. Sure, the pawn structure is going to be a little bit weird with those. Once an exchange happens on c4, you're going to have double pawns on the e file. But those actually defend a lot of squares. So e3, f4, d5, f5. And it reminds me of an article I wrote on the Chinese school of chess, which is all about space and squares. A game of Liu Xianglei, I think, who won the Novi Sad championship in 2016. So, but Black hasn't castled. He hasn't given the address of his king yet. So it's kind of a bit of a western, a bit of a showdown here. I like the knight being on d5 also controls the b4 squares, just in case that pawn does advance. Maybe we can just grab it off the board. And rook a1 check would not be all that dangerous, seeing as there's only one piece in attack and it's going to immediately be swapped off. Black does castle, and I think that actually he didn't have all that much of a choice. Obviously he's castling into the attack, but at the same time, where did you want to go? If you want to just stay in the center, you're going to have a lot of problem flowing with your pieces, connecting those rooks. So...
Yeah, so in terms of king safety, it looks like Black has a castled king, 3 pawns, but not many defenders over on that side of the board. And those G and H pawns are creeping their way down the board. And already starting to be under attack is the white king on the queen side.
What I really liked was the bell went, the ref stopped the clock, but both of them were still looking at the board like, interesting.
It is a very interesting position. Really anything that could still happen at this stage, both kind of knocking on the door of attacking the opponent's king. But we will get to see another boxing round, and let's see if the energy picks up in any way from either the Russian or the Kyrgyzstani side here. Would love to see a little bit more risks being taken for both. I think Kyrgyzstani took more last time and was rewarded for those. I think he edged out winning that round. But I'd like to see this Russian use his athleticism, try to create opportunities for himself, and score some points.
I think risks, yes. Picking your spots, yes. But I'm actually kind of happy that it's not, full brawl 100% of the time, because the guys are saving their energy for the chessboard. And I think that this will be the future strategies when you're going to respect your opponent and everybody kind of has a full package, like in MMA compared to when it started out and then it evolved. So everybody kind of had, decent grappling, decent striking, decent taking down. Here it's the same thing. Everybody's going to have decent boxing, decent chess, and it is going to be much more, much more respect given and much more going all in with your energy and then regretting it later on.
Sure, and that's where the iterations and the evolutions of the sport come. But let's get into this boxing action. A good jab to the body landed by the Kyrgyzstani. Just a searching jab, kind of feeling almost like a feint, seeing any kind of reactions from the Russian fighter. Russian overreacting to some of these feints from the Kyrgyzstani so far. You see too much movement when that jab comes, and that are telegraphing. I definitely think the experience and the composure advantage is going to the Kyrgyzstani.
I believe so too. Another thing is that as soon as the Russian gets hit, I believe he resets rather than actually take it and counterpunch immediately, and you have to do that.
Yeah, he's stiff, he's muscling his punches, whereas the Kyrgyzstani, just like that beautiful 1-2, he's snapping his shots, he's making them unpredictable, he's very loose.
I just like it, his composure, He's not panicked right now. I mean,
fighting with his hands down because he can see these stiff punches coming from a mile away. Good jab to the body lands for the Russian now. Another 1-2 lands clean on the chin of the Russian. Kyrgyzstani definitely winning that exchange. I'll take a jab to the body for a 1-2 upstairs.
And you see that when he throws the right, it is actually coming from upstairs, even though the hounds are down. It is coming straight from there, so it's coming from different angles. And
good left hook lands for the Russian and gets a pop from the Russian supporters.
Yeah, those hands down there, they're very awkward because, you know, you can come up and punch, you can punch from down there, you can bow down and punch from an angle.
An uppercut hook combo lands for the Russian. Referee from Latvia separating and restarting the match after it. Great cross, not landing flush, but landing on the Kyrgyzstani chin. Nice snappy jab. I really love the feints from the Kyrgyzstani. He's making his opponent react to him. He's making and seeing that reaction. He's building his plan from what he does when he feints the jab, feints a head movement, lateral movement. It's really high-level boxing.
He's also playing with the nervous system of his opponent. I remember Georges St-Pierre talking about that in the first fight with another famous MMA fighter, he thought that he was so fast that he would beat him to the punch, and basically they realized on video that the guy was better at that, and so he started feigning a lot, and the guy just tired very fast because of his nervous system. So feigning is really a big component of boxing strategy. You can't just, it's not everything is, spot on all the time. If you don't mix it up, it's a bit like in poker. If you don't bluff at least 20% of the time, it means you're just going to be predictable.
It's true. Feigning is a great way to download information from your opponent. It's a great way to keep your opponent on the reactionary side, on the heels, and to set up shots. Because sometimes you feint, sometimes you actually throw it, and your opponent could be lulled asleep by feints and then catch a jab, catch a combo that they weren't expecting. But here we go. We are making our way back over to the stage where the chessboard is set up and in the same position as when they left. Kyrgyzstani putting back on a coat, staying warm, and Russia following suit. Here they come back to their seats, headphones coming back on. See heavy breaths, probably a bit heavier from Russia. Some nervous finger tapping from Kyrgyzstan.
Is this the position? This is not the position.
Yeah, it is.
There's two knights on there's one on c3. I can't remember this.
Yeah, it happened right at the end where the H pawn recaptured on b4.
Okay.
That was the last move.
Okay.
It does look different because the king is that much more open. There's a check on a1 just ready.
It is, but it doesn't seem too dangerous. It looks slightly more dangerous with the knight on b4. Even then, it isn't so much. Maybe he'll get a pawn out of it if the king comes up and rook takes d1 and then king takes d1. But even then, there's 1,000 ways. I think the king is relatively safe, even if he's out in the open.
For now, but swinging over the queen and the other rook, you start to triple up on that a file with an entry to the king, and he senses it. Russia senses it and starts making his way away from that open file.
The legendary triple stack of Nakamura.
Yeah, we love a triple stack, whether that's a burger or whether that's from Naka.
Naka is legendary triple stack. Triple
stacker.
Stack, yeah, triple stack. Mm-hmm. He says that always on his stream. He just makes me laugh.
And maybe as the chess improves in this chess boxing world, we could see shorter time controls and other variations of the rule set. Earlier we were talking about a chess boxing fit style with bullet chess. How fast-paced and fun would that be?
That would be. But I must admit, I don't like this last move, knight a2. All you do, you ignore it, and you move the knight towards the center, knight e4, and then he just wonders why he did it. That pawn on b2 is protecting the c3 square. The knight on e4 will be protecting that square, so there are no forks, and he does it. It's kind of an obvious move, to be honest.
Just avoid.
Mm-hmm. And it might seem that, okay, you are getting closer, but the f6 square isn't practicable. Am I saying this right?
Practical.
Mm-hmm. No, but you actually might want to go on it, to use it, and praticable in French. That's the word I'm looking for, but I'm not finding it. And
so interesting move combination. We do have the c1 square open for a check now. and
that pawn on d5.
And then the d3 pawn could fall. Okay, he's opting to go back instead of forward.
I might have looked a little bit closer into using some kind of pin, to get that knight on f6 and the king mated. I would feel a sense of urgency, but that's...
Well, our Kyrgyzstani is in the driver's seat here with about a minute advantage on the clock.
That's very much true, and I really like his last move because he's opening up a file that's going to be in the center. That white king now, I would say, is definitely much weaker than the black one. Yeah,
I'm curious why white hasn't been more aggressive with that G and H pawn, putting a little counter pressure onto the black king and starting to peel open that pawn wall that he has in front.
Well, the knight, once it was established on e4, it was kind of eyeing the f6 square and a sack, you know. So, and also this f5 move, this pawn lever, this liberating move that the Kyrgyzstani has just played, it wouldn't have been possible because we could take en passant and the knight would be there for the rook not to take back. So, I think that, yeah, white is slightly losing the plot.
Well, here we go. We're gearing back up, getting ready for the second. I'm sorry.
The second, third
boxing round. Mm-hmm. This is one of the later fights we've seen. It's going deep. You know, we're pretty low on time on the chessboard, with 2 minutes and 1 minute left.
A Groundhog Day,
black and white, respectively. Yep, and we're in our third boxing round between these two competitors. Love to see an equal match.
Yeah, no, it's a good level in both, and I like well-rounded. I think somehow that's supposed to be one of the goals, right? To be well-rounded in life in general. Now, chessboxing for me is a
better
way of
jab from Russia.
Breaking specialization, you know, that seems to be like an inherent message of chessboxing.
Yes, being good not just in chess, not just in boxing, but in both, and the skills it takes to transition between the two. That minute in between rounds, so important. Okay, I think out of that exchange, Russia getting the better.
I like how he was able to switch it up and actually say, okay, if you want to mess, I can mess around.
Okay,
too.
Now this is interesting. The Latvian referee broke up a holding and punching thing that Valfongo earlier was not breaking up from the Russian-French matchup between Ekaterina and Lara. So just the little intricacies and differences between the referees. Neither is right or wrong, but had the Latvian been overseeing that one, might have gone a little different because a lot of damage was done to Lara while she was being wrapped up.
Definitely. I did see that. I remember holding on to people's gloves, and I remember one of my first fights being in that situation, and the ref should stop that immediately.
Yeah, you're not allowed to hold and punch, at least in American chess boxing, or in American boxing. All right, we are getting back to the action. Still, the same kind of demeanor from the Kyrgyzstani, keeping distance, waiting for his opponent to make a move. It's just now the moves are a little bit better. They're a little bit more informed. The Russian feeling more confident and mounting better attacks against the Kyrgyzstani. But a lot of these seem to be just ending in clinch after clinch after clinch. It's I wish I'd see a little bit more pivoting, lateral movement, avoiding the clinch, and using it against the opponent, one side or the other here.
But what's strange is they seem to both...
Oh, that's a legal punch. Yeah. That's a legal punch. He just expected the clinch. Exactly what I was just saying. He used expecting the clinch to break apart and then throw a shot, and it landed clean and flush for Russia. Probably the best punch he's landed so far.
But it's funny because it seems that like this status quo of not much happening, it suits both fighters. Normally one is disagreeing because something's happening on the board. I think that maybe the Russian doesn't realize that the tables are turning on the board, and both believe in their chances.
Well, there's the end of the round, and man, I might give that one to Russia. That was a very impressive, I guess, increase in activity and calculated aggression for Russia. I like to see that. I think the first 2 rounds definitely go to Kyrgyzstan, but Russia taking that third.
So is this the last round of chess now? Because is it 7 rounds?
No, it's 3 minutes. So regardless, one of the players will run out of time before the end of this chess round. Right, so,
there you go.
One has 2 minutes on, the other has 1 minute on, and that's why in the main event regulation, the exact amount of time on the clock is the exact amount of time for the 4 chess rounds. So one fighter will lose on time before the end, which means there's always a finite ending. It's not like regular boxing where it could be left up to the subjectivity of judges that could be corrupted, could be bribed, could be whatever.
Exactly.
And you know, not just speaking out of my ass there, that happens a lot, unfortunately, in boxing. But not in just boxing. It is, at least in that way, corrupt proof because there's a clear winner that everyone can see how they won and understand it.
I also like it on a symbolic level, just that countdown, that catastrophic, you know.
Tick, tick, tick.
Tick, 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 exactly.
That's right.
One extra fear to have to deal with.
Tick, tick, tick. Under 40 seconds now is Mikhail from Russia. Definitely time being a consideration here. Yes, he might have won that last boxing round, but really, Akhnazar just needed to survive it and increase his time advantage, which he has done so far.
And
he's trading off. Yep, he's trading off pieces here. So exchanging a pawn, getting a check with a tempo, advancing his pawn all the way to now the 3rd rank. And yeah, I mean, we could see protected passers here.
That queen f5 was the move I would have suggested. There's a threat of mate in 1 that he hasn't seen.
And there is the checkmate that Carl saw coming. And Akhnazar inevitably going to win on time. But no, checkmate, checkmate, checkmate.
Checkmate.
Winning by checkmate by battering up his queen and rook and checkmating on the f1 square. Big congratulations to our first-timer. First time from Kyrgyzstan, first time at the Chess Boxing World Championship, but wearing a hat from his homeland and bringing his flag into the ring is the Kyrgyzstani who will be taking home the 90-kilogram World Championship. Big congrats. My former weight class and my former world title going to a new world champion. There he is, hand raised.
I feel that you have already a great like for him. You feel connected to him in some respect.
He reminds me a lot of my opponent from 2019 who eliminated me from the Turkish World Championship, Tony. Tony was from France and had strong chess, maybe a bit stronger than Akhnazar, and probably weaker boxing than Akhnazar, but similar build and both just as likable.
Definitely.
And President Mamtudas awarding the medal to Akhnazar. Akhnazar taking the first place position in the 90-kilogram weight division. And that medal will be going home along with his hat and flag to Kyrgyzstan. Big congratulations. Love the picture. Love his coach. He's a legend. He gives me strong Yoda vibes, or Mr. Miyagi maybe.
And he spent 3 hours in an AGM without understanding a word we were saying, just sitting there patiently.
Yeah, just picking up on the vibes.
The usual nonsense.
Right.
Of the evening, before the night.
tonight there will be a special night with Emanuela Suano. She will do very interesting shows for us. She will dance.
I'm so pissed that that's true.
Do like circus, play, and so on. Surprise me. Don't miss tonight.
There's a break there, but it's not that long.
Quindi questa sera ci sarà Emanuela Suano. There should be a light that we leave the people standing up. So let's make a couple of minutes.
Hey.
All right, so just got clarification. We have one more chess boxing match before a break. During the break will be the performance that Alfonso just shared, and after the break, we will be coming back with more final matches, finals for multiple divisions. We have under 90 kilograms that just finished, but afterwards we have under 50 kilograms, under 70 kilograms, 95 plus, 55, 80, 85, and we will be ending with some incredible matches. So you want to come back after the break, you want to see this high-level chess boxing and who takes home a world championship to their home country. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you in just about an hour and a half, and yeah, we really appreciate you supporting chess boxing. We'll see you in just a bit.
o'clock, 9 p.m. And I will announce...
No, don't announce. We do a video and then we do the fight. Give you a few seconds to warm up. Video. And then there is the last fight. Venuto? No. È venuto, eh? È arrivato. È arrivato in funzione, guarda.
This is the last fight before the break. This is the under 80 kilograms semifinal in light chess boxing. And fighting out of the black corner from Italy, we have Francesco Tordoni. And fighting out of the white corner, we have Caleb.
bon? C'est bon? Ouais, super. T'as déjà prouvé cet après-midi. Tu vois, le contexte n'est pas facile, maintenant c'est fort. Beaucoup d'hydratation?
No, c'est pas.
Non?
Sorry, I wasn't supposed to do this fight because he's Italian, but the Russian won, so I have to do it. I wasn't supposed to referee this one. I should have been a Russian referee, but he left. So only me.
Okay. Ah, and the guy is Italian. Bon, on est en territoire ennemi. Hein.
Je veux pas, moi.
Alors, je t'amuse, je te fais plaisir. Allez. Ok? C'est du plaisir là. Ouais.
Can you be the third judge? You just have to say white or black. Who wins the boxing round? 1, 2, 3 judges. White or black.
T'es meilleur en boxe, hein, frérot.
C'est clair.
T'es meilleur.
Back to your corners.
Je crois même que t'es meilleur aux échecs en plus.
Box!
Allez, on allonge. Allonge, déplace. Allonge. Super, Khaled. Super le coup au corps. Bravo, Khaled, super.
Allez, cousin!
Respire, déplace-toi, super. Ouais, magnifique. Reste au centre du ring, Khaled. Reste au centre du ring. Voilà. Éloigne-toi des cordes, reste au centre. Allez, éloigne-toi des cordes, Khaled. Tu as super le coup au corps, magnifique. 1-1-2, ça touche à chaque fois. 1-1-2, ça touche à chaque fois. 2 en haut, bras avant, 1 en bas. Super, Khaled. Stop! Super! Box! Allez, reste à distance, défends maintenant. Monte ta défense, tu te déplaces. En vitesse, Khaled. La remise, voilà. Super, Khaled, très bon.
Devant, c'est bien.
Allez, on reste en mouvement, Khaled. Et on allonge, super. Varie les jabs, change de pattern. Joli, Khaled. Et tu sors. Allez, défense maintenant, tu défends. Super.
And the winner of the first round in undisputed decision, Khaled in the white corner.
Easy. crochet bras arrière. Le but c'est juste de toucher. Pas besoin de faire. Tu vas gagner haut la main, tu vas gagner celui-là haut la main si tu veux. Derrière, on allonge, je t'accélère, on allonge, on se dépasse, on respire. Tu as très bien fait sur le premier, c'était génial. Décision bien là. Ok. On a ta marche, on produit un peu quand même. Et ça, on s'assure une victoire facile. Allez. Box. Allez Khaled, tu allonges. Pense à ta série, pense à... Super Khaled, super. Light. Tu touches. Juste tu touches, en vitesse, sans puissance. Super. Allez, varie, pas toujours la même. Propose autre chose, propose une autre série. Oui. Super Khaled. Ok, une autre encore. Light. Double jab. Double ton jab, Khaled, maintenant. Double ton jab. Ok, encore. Oui, super, Khaled. Magnifique. Allez, déplace-toi, respire. Reste mobile.
Tape dans le fond.
C'est bien avec les devants là. Oui. Très bien, Khaled, super. Light par contre, light. Allez, défense maintenant, déplace-toi. Reste mobile. Sois mobile, super Khaled. Ouais. Magnifique. Très bien, mon gars, super.
Touche pas, mec.
Pense à respirer.
Touche pas.
Il te touche pas, Khaled. Zéro coup, il te touche pas. Allez, finis fort, finis rapide.
Ouais.
Super, Khaled. Super.
Ouais.
Très bon, ça.
And the winner of the second round of box by unanimous decision, Khaled Benadria with the white pieces. This brings the score to 2 on the boxing for Khaled.
Mais la porte...
Vai, Fra, guarda anche il tempo.
And the winner by scoring 2 points in the boxing round and not completing the chess game, this portion of the event. We're resuming the fights, the gala, and the beautiful dancer at 9 p.m. 21 o'clock.
Tabernacle, qu'est-ce que c'était bien?
Comment je peux vous remercier l'équipe de France?
Tu me fais un câlin après.